Google's Nano Banana Pro is making it more easy than ever to bring some of your favorite video games fully to life like you've never seen them before. And in today's video, we are going to be doing a bit of a tutorial on how you can actually do this. So what I'm going to be doing is I will be bringing this game, which I loved. I used to play this game heaps as a kid growing up. It's Diablo 1. It's a medieval kind of role-playing game set back in time. And you can see right here, the graphics are very much OG from like 1996. And what I want to do is I actually want to create this finished product that you're seeing right here. And we're going to be running through the rough workflow of how you can actually achieve this kind of cinematic greatness that is now a possibility with programs such as Nano Banana Pro, and bring it to life with animation, which I do think is fantastic. And this is something I'll be doing a lot more of on this channel, explaining some tips, useful tricks, how to use it, how to get what you want out of it, and some very important things to get the really nice aesthetic finish that you want to see, that you want to capture for any type of video game. And we will be doing more video games in the future. So if you are a fan of video games, it's one thing I enjoy. And we do have some other ones cooking in the background, like Zelda Ocarina of Time. I'll be looking into a very detailed remake of this one and bring that one to life fully as well. So subscribe if you want the next update on the channel. We'll get around to that at some stage. But for now, let's get straight into Nano Banana Pro and how you can actually bring these things to life using AI right now. So first thing you need to understand is you need to get a very good base image. So the workflow is always going to be, at this stage anyway, during the AI process, is you need to try and get as accurate, hyper-realistic, depending on what type of style you're after, of course, base image as possible, just one image of this as possible to kick things off. So you can see right here, this is from the actual game. So this is the game quality right here I've got on the screen. But what I want to do is I want to actually get like an artistic cinematic feel, ultra realistic, that's actually going to reflect this and going to reflect it relatively accurate. So it doesn't need to be like pinpoint accurate, but you know, the things I'm after for this is really the shape of the cathedral, the actual walls that are surrounding it, you know, the gravestones on the right side. I want to capture this this river, and I also want to capture the broader ambience of it as well. So this is all possible right now within Nano Banana Pro. So if we actually jump over here, I'm in a platform called Higgsfield. Okay, so Higgsfield is what I'm using. After I did some research, I did end up choosing this platform. I quite like it. I like the interface of it. And it gives you, to understand what Higgsfield is, because going into AI land can be very confusing. You got all these different platforms like OpenAI or Higgsfield, or there's other ones out there. But really what they're doing, they're almost like an aggregator. So they're going to give you access to a bunch of tools. And, you know, if you get a good deal on it, you can actually get the tools for, you know, relatively cheap. In comparison, say if you were to sign up to, you know, Google Gemini individually, sign up to Kling individually, sign up to a bunch of these individually, that might cost you like a lot of money per month. But if you go through like a platform like Higgsfield, or there's other ones out there, you can get a lot of tools relatively cheaply, and they have a nice interface to kind of build kind of what we're after in the space right here. So that's the interface I'm using, but I will be using Nano Banana Pro to kind of create this. So the first thing I wanted to do, and you know, one of the things that I'm learning with AI is, you know, it does give you mixed results, and sometimes it's almost like a work in progress. So you're gonna have to work through multiple times to get what you're after. So you can see right here the prompts I was using, and really the prompting stage is where you are going to get your base image. So you really have to get these prompts right. You can see as I progress through these prompts, this was the first one I put in. It did give me a little bit of creativity. You can pause the video and read through this prompt soon. But I did provide, you know, a bit of a reference image. It was giving me a high resolution kind of response, but you can actually see it's not really geometrically architecturally in sync with this. So it is cool as a bit of a creative expression of what this could look like in real life, but I had to continue to refine the prompt. So really I'm finding that this is a prompt rectification process where you do go through with it. You kind of talk to AI during this process to get the outcome you want. And you can see right here, as I start to improve the prompt and you know, really send it back to Nano Banana, that, you know, what I'm after is I start to highlight that ensure the cathedral matches the structural architecture as shown in the original game, reference detached And you can see it's getting close, but it's not perfect. So we have to actually go back again to Nano Banana for more outcomes. And then what it actually does is you can see in these types of prompts where I really start to knuckle down the prompt and you know, make it very, very specific. The layout of the cathedral should match the structural architecture as shown in the original game. Reference attached, the walls and graveyard surrounding the cathedral should match. The natural features should match. And then a bit more of a description over here. You know, the issue that I ran into at this stage with the prompt is it was giving me too much of a, you know, not creative enough actually. So what I mean by that is if you actually look at the original right here, it's pretty much a, you know, it is doing its job, right? It is doing its job, but it's not really, I wouldn't classify that as, you know, very realistic. It hasn't really changed it. And the atmosphere, and the actual just picture of it isn't like, I wouldn't classify anyone seeing that and saying, look, that's an ultra realistic, like I could walk into that, because it's still kind of, to me, it still looks a little bit video game-ish. So I wasn't happy with that, even though my prompt was getting closer and closer and closer to you know, what I'm after. And then as we continue to prompt Google Gemini, these are the ones that start to really bring it to life. So you can see right here, this is looking better. So one thing I've done is I've, you know, changed the angle of it a bit lower. So it's looking actually quite nice. And this is starting to get more and more on the money of what we want. This is the feel I want. And remember, as you go through this process, you know, think of yourself as a creative director, as an artist. There's actually no right answer to this. So if you're happy with one picture, you can go with this. We have complete freedom in how we kind of create it. But I wasn't happy. I thought that was good, but I wasn't happy with that either. So I continued to prompt right here, and you can see it actually regresses a bit, and he goes back to you know, giving me these images that are not really what I'm after, right? So again, he's going back too much. Not him, but it, I should say. The AI is going back to more of a gaming vibe right here, and then we start to get more and more on the money. So right here, I was like, wow, this is looking good. So we're including a bit more of a low angle wide shot in the prompt reference here, Tristram Church. That is good, and I actually didn't even provide a reference image. So AI created that by itself using just words, which was getting perfect. And then we really got on the money is when I actually referenced these images once again, and we created this kind of lower angle view right here. So I thought right here, as we referenced here, created the low angle shot, I thought these were the ones that in my opinion were looking very, very good. And these are the ones we could work with that, in my opinion, satisfied exactly what I was after. So this was the look I was exactly after. If we wanted to bring, again, we go back here, this church to ultra realistic life, as per the end result right here. So you can see right here, this is, you know, the images we end up going with. And once we get to the animation stage, which I'll show you very soon, this is starting to look absolutely great. So this is amazing. This is the power of Nano Banana and what you can kind of do with it. So we upscale this image to 4K, right? So that is a very important step. So the first step you have to understand as you're working through these, you have to get to a stage with your prompting, right? And it might take several attempts to get to what you want, that you really are happy with one image, right? So you have to work through this. Again, I went back to this image, which is good, but I wasn't happy with the lighting right there. And I've ended up, you know, with my final prompt right here, which I was very happy with. And, you know, we went with, you know, basically one of these images, which are very similar, but that was perfect. So we upscale this to 4K, right? So now what we need to do to kind of create this cinematic, multiple angle, bring it to life with a lot of stuff and flying around and really absorbing the greater feel of this is we need to create multiple angles to this, and we need to make it consistent as well. So one of the biggest problems with AI at the moment is consistency. So if you've played around with AI, you will understand that, you know, consistency, it starts to hallucinate. It's almost like it's eating magic mushrooms sometimes and just adds things in. So we want a consistent shot, and what we do right there to bring this consistency to life before we actually start to animate it is we have to run another prompt, and this prompt right here is going to be the multiple angle shot prompt, right? So you can see right here, I actually ran 4 versions of this. So I did the button down the bottom, batch size 4, to give me 4 different productions, and really right here, what we're after is a multi-shot angle of the church. So we have, or the cathedral, we have multiple angles right here, which is looking good. And we actually did 4 renditions of this to kind of get the perfect pictures we really wanted to bring to life and to animate. And we ended up picking about 9 or 10 of these out of these 4 sets to bring it to life. And remember, each set theoretically should be consistent, right? So it should be consistent within itself. I did leave a little bit of creativity in there. There might be minor inconsistencies, but for the end effect, it's 95% there. So I'm not going to stress about getting everything 100% perfect, because at the end of the day, we just want to, create a mind-blowing animation that's going to look really great, really cinematic, and bring it to life. And, almost like relive our childhood memories like we've never seen before, but like kind of really just bring it to life. And that's exactly what we did right here. So we've basically got these. And then the next process is you want to extract these in 4K. So you pick your photos out from this. There's another prompt to run that. You extract each of these and you get these beautiful shots from different angles that are looking fantastic. And you can just see how powerful some of these shots are. And that's just an amazing shot. So I can just imagine myself, standing right here in front of this church looking up, and that is literally what it would look like. It's just amazing. It's capturing everything perfectly, the lighting perfectly. And this is all Nano Banana Pro. This is not Midjourney. I did try Midjourney a little bit. I wasn't very happy with the results of Midjourney. Right there, but Nano Banana was the go, right? So Nano Banana bring these to life really, really nicely, and these are the ones we've extracted into 4K right here. So you can see all these are getting extracted into 4K, and we have lots of very, very nice, spooky, beautiful images to now animate with and bring this to life in full version of its glory. You can see a beautiful opening shot of the cathedral doors right here. So you can see right there, we're standing in the front there, looking directly in, which is really looking very spooky indeed. And I'll show you a cool prompt where we actually bring that to life. And this is looking great. So really happy with a lot of these angles of shots. One thing you're going to find with Nano Banana Pro is it does unfortunately, flag so much NSFW content, even though this is, in my opinion, this is not safe for work. We're just kind of creating like a spooky atmosphere. It's just a spooky church. Why is this getting flagged by Nano Banana Pro? I don't know. So this is an issue with Google at the moment. This is not Higgsfield, in my opinion. It's just Nano Banana Pro it's just Nano Banana Pro being too restrictive. And what you'll find in AI is some of the other things, if you want to use other programs, they're not as restrictive. So a lot of the Chinese models, I find they're not very restrictive at all. You can do anything in them. But the reason I use Nano Banana Pro is because the quality is so fantastic, right? And we'll talk about Google VO 3.1 soon, but you have to understand at the moment, and this is like an AI race, right? Nano Banana is dominating a lot of the realism, especially with humans as well, especially if you run it in 3.1. VO, it's just amazing, but the issue with it is it burns a lot of credits, right? So it's going to burn a lot of your credits if you signed up through Higgsfield, or even with Gemini or Google One or whatever it might be. It's just going to burn. So right here we have our church, right? We got our shots, we've extracted them now. Now the next thing we have to do is we actually have to run an animation process for this. So what we're going to do, I'm in Higgsfield again, I'm going to go over here, we're going to go to Google VO 3.1, click that, okay? And this is the area where we're going to start to prompt it, and we're going to do some cool things, because I actually did a ton of animations for this. Not all of them got used, and but some of them are very, very great and very, very cool. So you can see right here some of the prompts I'm using, right? Eye level medium shot of the heavy wooden cathedral entrance. The doorway is illuminated from within by a strong eerie red light that glows, that slowly fades to near darkness and then swells back to bright fullness. And then we do some description right here, and you can see right here when we animate this, and actually animated with Kling, you can see the door slightly open. So that was an okay animation. And then I actually ran it through different types of animation programs. So you actually use Minimax 2.3 Fast right here. We'll show you some of the Google VO ones soon. But this one was also actually really good. Okay, so this is one of my favorite ones out of the whole Well, not that one actually, it was, where is it? This is the one I thought was great as well. So that was getting used by Seedance right here. So you can see I'm experimenting with a lot of different engines. This was Google VO 3.1 fast, this animation right here, where we're using, you know, relatively the same prompt, but we're getting different results from different engines. And there was one where the doors open, which I thought was very good. I'm trying to find it. I think it's this one with Seedance 1.5 Pro, which was one of my favorite shots out of the whole animation sequence. This one right here. So this is reminiscent of, if anyone's seen that movie, The Ninth Gate, where like the doors open. I thought that was amazing. And this kind of reflects the, you know, this light kind of sprawling out onto the grass and onto the entrance right here with that animation right there, which I thought was great. And the other thing you can do with all these angles is you can kind of change the camera, how the camera operates. So right here we have the camera flies towards the cathedral. One thing you can do is so you can see it kind of glide towards the cathedral. And then we did some very cool stuff with Kling 2.5 Turbo. So you can see this prompt right here up the top right corner. We're actually going to use a start frame, we're going to use an end frame, and the camera is actually going to swing around to really bring this to life. That's the prompt right there if you want to pause the screen, and that is really animating it beautifully as well. And you have this other very powerful one where we do have like a backwards flying motion, so flying from the cathedral to the river shot, which was one of our multiple angle shots to end at. But one thing you have to understand, and this is a good learning lesson, is when you are going into, you know, start scenes and end scenes right here, is AI will just make up content as it goes. It can throw up some inconsistencies. So for example, you can see right here, just at this frame, AI has created an empty spot here on the right-hand side of the church. So it's not fully accurate because if we go back to here, this was our first shot. There's a graveyard right here. And then if we find a shot from the actual the video right here, you can see there's supposed to be a graveyard right here. So that's what can happen sometimes when you use start and end scenes. So just be cognizant the fact that, you know, if it doesn't have full context of all the environment, like it doesn't have all the 8 shots, it's just going to make stuff up, right? So it's just made up a little portion right here. Even though you can see at the end, it would just generate the graveyard right here. So the graveyard just reappears magically right there. So it does a good job, but it's not 100% perfect. So I expect as AI gets better, it's going to include lots more of these options to kind of do it. And you can just see how many animations I ran through for this project. So I was really happy with this. And one other tip as well, so workflow tip, is if you really want to get the quality perfect, and really good, you can see we're extracting some of these at 720p because Higgsfield there's some free credits you can use. Some are at 1080p right here with Google VO 3.1 fast. And again, I got an error on that one. Some of them give me errors, some of them don't. It's very strange. But you do want to run, if you really want to make a 4K ultra realistic video and you have the credits to use. Remember, this stuff is not cheap to run, so it can be an expensive project to run. Like this is running at 4K, that image, and some of this stuff is looking really, really nice. You can upscale this in Topaz, right? So Topaz I find is a very good one. So then we'll get these animations, we'll go over to video, we'll go to Topaz right here. Where is Topaz? It's in here somewhere. It's actually hidden behind video upscale. So you click here, you drop your images or you drop your videos in there. So we did 3 of these, and then we actually upscaled it. For some reason, it doesn't actually give you an ability to play this in the actual player once you've upscaled it. Right here, it just kind of gives you this weird screen. You have to download the video, right? And then once the video is downloaded, you end up with these beautiful kind of upscaled 4K video, which I think are fantastic. So you can see we used a few of them in the video, and they were looking fantastic. And the end result is like once you stitch these all together, you edit it all together in Premiere Pro, you get a very, very nice, you know, realistic, bring it to life animation that, you know, this is the possibility right now. This is the stuff where if you learn this, you can just create some very, very cool things. So guys, helpful links will be in the description of this video to, you know, the tools I used, some helpful comments. If you enjoy animation, we will be animating more stuff in the future. So as I said, you know, at some stage, I will get around to We will be bringing Zelda Ocarina of Time alive as well. You can see these beautiful, realistic image. How realistic does that look? It almost looks real, but it's also staying true to the geometry of the original Zelda game, which I think is very important. So we'll get around to that. And you can also see some of these other ones I've come up with as well. A bit of spooky pasta in here, guys, so watch out for the spooky images. I was animating these, and these are actually using, again, Nano Banana Pro to create realistic wax figures of Diablo. Very, very cool process right there, because I've seen some of those videos go viral on TikTok using different characters. And this is another style of, the village you could do. What you're doing here is you're increasing, the creativity. So it's not going to perfectly sync to the church. But again, this is the creativity you can go with. So a very nice widescape, realistic photo of Tristram Village. It really is starting to bring this whole process alive. So that is the back end of bringing these fantastic animations to life, and we will be doing more of this in the future. So again, subscribe, like if you enjoy it. This is John with Frostfire Studios, Frostfire Creations, and I will see you in the next video.